Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Natalia.
It's so great to see you. And
Nice to be with you as always.
I can't thank you enough for agreeing to chat with us a bit
I'm
about
happy.
your year, about your presidency, and where you see the academy going. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to kick it off with the question everybody wants to know, I think. What are you proudest about in this year of your presidency?
Well, I thought we had a great mid-year meeting. Um, if we want to talk about things that everyone enjoys, it's always the mid-year meeting, and I thought it went great. The weather cooperated. We had a full moon. We even had a couple passes by the space station, and the events went well. All the meetings went well. The CLE went well. I was really happy that it went off. But in terms of the substance, we have a couple different initiatives that we're looking at this year that I'm really excited about. And I think they really reflect well on the academy and the people who are working them up. One of them is our communication study initiative that's being led by David Griffin of Connecticut. It was actually his idea, and it's a multidisciplinary study group that is evaluating communications, how we communicate with each other. I think the idea was that our ability to communicate has become more adversarial and coarsened, and it's been poisoned. And I think most people would agree the public discourse seems to have gone that way, and it sort of bleeds over into how we talk to each other or how we talk to the court or the clients. And the idea is to have good lawyers and excellent social scientists, like the two psychologists that are part of our group, develop strategies for making hostile communications and adversarial communications into problem-solving communications that are dignified, so that we can continue to be the exemplars of how you practice in this very difficult field. I'm really proud that we're doing that, and I'm really proud of the committee. And I know that you're one of the members of the study initiative, and I thank you and everybody else for their work.
I feel honored to be a part of it. It's a very amazing group, and
It really is. It really is. Another thing that we're doing that I'm, since you asked, uh, proud of for the academy is we have a pilot project or a pilot program that we really worked on throughout the summer.
Mhm.
It's being led by Gary Rosen and Keelu Davis, and it's called the AAML Scholars. And the purpose is to, from a really long-term perspective, begin to create opportunities for law students who wouldn't otherwise necessarily be exposed to the practice of family law, and who come from diverse communities of the United States. We want them to be exposed to the practice of family law. And so we are creating a kind of a curriculum for students who are interested in working in offices of our Academy Fellows. And we want them to have common experiences that we all have practicing law in this field, so that anyone who is a member of the AAML Scholars Program could put that on their resume or their CV. And so that maybe in the future, as the program gains traction, it will mean something to a potential employer that this particular applicant from this particular law school and this particular diverse community was a member of the AAML Scholars Program. And we hope that in doing that, we'll begin to develop an interest in this area of practice among these young law students. And I thought it was a neat idea, and I'm happy that we're doing it this year. And I'm very excited about it and proud of it. Those are probably the three things that I think are the most exciting that we're doing this year.
They're big achievements and accomplishments, and I'm so glad that those are taking off, and I can't wait to see what's to come from it.
Wouldn't it be great if a couple of those scholars in the first couple of classes that we have end up applying to be fellows of the Academy in 15 years? That would really be great.
That's what it's about, right?
That's the goal.
So I wonder if you could speak to who or what introduced you to the Academy.
I was introduced to the Academy by my late partner. He was my employer in 1989 after I left the practice of medical defense and commercial litigation and took a leap of faith to join him in the practice of family law. And he was a wonderful lawyer. His name was Alan Zerman. And I learned a great deal from him, and we became partners, and we were together for about 30 years.
Wow.
And Alan was a fellow of the Academy, really for only 2 years when I went to work for him in 1989, but he was a great advocate of the Academy. He was very interested in scholarship and professionalism, and he liked to speak and he liked to write, and he hoped that I would speak and write, which I was very interested in. And when I had 10 years of practice under my belt, 5 of which were in family law, I applied at his urging, and he was a great mentor and partner, and a generous mentor and partner. And I, with his cooperation as my partner, I did everything I could in the Academy. I was away a lot, but I got so much out of it, and we got so much out of it. And so that's how.
That's awesome. What would you say, I mean, given you put so much into the Academy, what would you say is your fondest memory of being a fellow and becoming a fellow?
It's just the experiences that we have with each other every November, and at each of these wonderful mid-year meetings that we have for ourselves. We get a lot out of it in terms of education. But I think when I joined my first committee is when things started to click, because that's when you really first develop a little community. Even if it's 7 committee members, those are 7 people from around the United States that I didn't know before. They practice in the field that I do, and you go to one meeting, and then after 2 or 3 meetings, you know these people well, and then you join another committee, and it's just I think the best part of it is my wife enjoys our Academy relationship as much as I do. Maybe more.
Her.
Maybe more.
We enjoy her so much. Dee is amazing.
She's the best, and we enjoy it so much. It's really become a great part of our life.
What would you say if you could kind of speak to your younger self as a fellow joining the Academy? Are your takeaways and lessons, things that you might do a little differently, if there is anything?
I might have gotten involved earlier. And I do see many of our, I'm going to call them younger fellows, we're all middle-aged. I'm 62, but I have seen fellows who became involved immediately. They joined a committee immediately, and they went to the annual meeting immediately. I didn't do that. I joined in 95, and I don't think I went to the annual meeting maybe for 3 or 4 years. And I don't think I went to the mid-year meeting until maybe 7 or 8 years after I joined. But I never missed either one a single time after doing that. And I enjoyed every one of them. I always came back from each of them. I'm invigorated by being around great lawyers who do what you and I do. And we've all got great senses of humor, and we're all interested in the things that make the Academy special: professionalism and scholarship and intellectual stimulation. And so I would say, once you have achieved becoming a fellow, get involved right away. I don't think I missed much, but I missed 4 years at least. I want those back. I'm sorry I missed them.
I hear you. What would you say to a young person considering the academy? What should be the attraction or the focus for why they should want to work to one day become a fellow?
Well, it's a really good question. And, one of my roles as president, and each of the presidents before I was president, we travel to a lot of chapters and meet a lot of prospective fellows. And so one of the things that I tell these prospective members, if you don't really like family law and you don't like what you're doing and you're probably going to be getting out and doing something else, don't bother yourself. I say it in a nice way, but I know that many people who do what we do are deeply committed to it. They feel like they're helping people. They're interested in doing it at the highest possible level. And so I think if you're interested in being recognized as a top attorney in our field, you have to be interested in becoming a fellow of the Academy. That really is the mark. It's not one of these pay to play things that we all get in the mail. You have to have the credentials to apply. You have to pass the exam. You have to pass muster by references from your colleagues and by the judges before whom you practice. I don't know of any other area of law practice that is that discerning in its membership. So, and I would think that we would all want that. If you're interested in professionalism, excellence, scholarship, and innovation in our practice, I think the Academy is where you hope to be and you should aspire to be. And you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be tippy top.
Right. So what can you tell prospective fellows and fellows who are going to be watching you on camera about you that we don't know? Just give us a little insight into Cary. Something that people would be surprised to know.
Well, I am a great music lover. I don't know that would surprise anyone, but really, both Dee and I, we love music. We were trumpet players in our early life, and I love jazz, especially. We go to a regular jazz series in St. Louis, and the symphony and the opera, and I love rock and roll. I love all kinds of music. Mm-hmm. I love marching bands. I could watch them all day if I had the time. I think they're wonderful. I've learned to really be a dog person. We've got a beautiful little Cavachon. He's this big, and I'm totally in love with him. But I'm kind of an open book, I think. I don't really know that I have any.
Well, I didn't know you were a trumpet player.
So no.
That's a newbie.
No.
We got to get you to play at an Academy meeting one year.
Well, got to get those chops back up.
Exactly. But. So I guess the last question I would ask you is, where do you see the Academy going, or the changes in family law? Like, what's next for practitioners in this field?
I think that we're at an interesting spot in the profession. From this perspective, and I think the Great Recession might have been the line of demarcation. But every brochure I used to get in the mail, I don't even get mail anymore, but it was always about continuing education and skill development. And then after 2008, I would bet it was 9 to 1. It was about marketing and management. And I think there's a great place for that in the profession. But I also think that it's very important that we're lawyers. That's what we do. And I was very interested in the business part of it for a long time, because that's how you get the bills paid and pay your people and everything. the people who work with you. But I've noticed that there does seem to be a lot of emphasis on marketing, and I'm going to call it practice management, which is helpful and interesting. But I think it's easy to get lost in that. And I think it's easy to kind of lose focus, because what we really are advocates and counselors. And I'm hopeful that we continue to do that. And I think we will. The Academy, like a lot of organizations, clubs, religious organizations, churches, synagogues, I think that there is a kind of a diminution in affiliation rates that we've seen. People don't belong to things like they used to. And so that's kind of a headwind that we're looking at in the Academy. But I think that as long as we maintain our edge and our reputation for excellence,
Right.
we will always be a place where the top lawyers in our field want to be. And so I'm bullish on it. I think it's going in a good direction. We do seem to keep attracting a lot of wonderful lawyers who are right at the right age to really become involved and really have something to offer to their peers in the Academy. So I think we're going in a great direction, and I'm very happy with it. And apart from the little squeaks and problems that everyone is seeing, we're doing great.
We are. And thanks to you and your leadership and our year of celebrating our 60th, which is huge. And
Natalia, think about that. 60. I mean, just think about your own community of lawyers, all the law firms that, they change form every few years, and you start to think, how does a law firm stay together for even 10 years and then 15 years? And when you're thinking about that, then you see these trucks go by and they say in business 50 years, and you realize that's a great achievement. And to be a voluntary organization of professionals and be going strong 60 straight years, that really is remarkable.
Yeah, it is. It's huge. It's epic. It is very, very special and rare.
Yeah, we've been left a great legacy by the founders, and I really feel like we should all cherish it, and we should pass it on and make sure that it continues.
Well, with initiatives like the communications and the scholars, I am more and more confident under your leadership that we are on the right track to making that happen.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I'll tell you, we've got, I think, almost 50 committees, and we usually met, twice a year at the annual and at the mid-year. And then we started doing a lot of phone conferencing, which was horrible, but we met more often. And I think with the pandemic, one byproduct that's been very popular or positive for us is all these committees. Some of them are substantive legal committees. Some of them are operational committees for the Academy, but they're meeting much more frequently. We've got a lot of really active leaders in the Academy, and they're doing great things, really great things. And so
lots to be proud of.
Yeah, we should all be proud of it.
Well, I can't, again, thank you enough for carving out the time to share your journey to become a fellow, to lead us in our 60th year, and to still be practicing law and traveling.
All right.
I hope you get time to play the trumpet, and I'm going to make sure we have some time at one of our future meetings for you to play. For all.
I knew I was going to be sorry you got that out of me.
It happens.
Yeah. Thank you, though, for the invitation to talk. And I always enjoy speaking with you, Natalia. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Cary.
Okay. Thank you.